is just fantastic.
Hello, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about Billy Mitchell, as his name has been doing its rounds on social media, and I thought, well, let's have a good little chuckle at a, world record holding, totally not a cheat gamer. Yep, that's a thing. Billy Mitchell has been memed to high heaven over the years, not just on the internet but in television as well. Within the retro gaming community, Billy Mitchell held for a long time a certain amount of respect. However, many of his records may not have been at that time obtained legitimately or by the rules set out by those that developed the games or the consoles they were played on. Arcade games, more notably Pac-Man and Donkey Kong, where Billy Mitchell holds a perfect score on the arcade game Pac-Man and did hold, although I can't remember if he still has it, a record for Donkey Kong as well. I don't know if it's much of a flex these days, but I do recall in the 80s and 90s when video games were starting out, this was something completely different. Like TV presenters in the 60s, it was something new, innovative and interesting. And so many people would watch the likes of Billy Mitchell as they played these games. Now though, they go to Twitch and watch the same deadpan face person play the same deadpan map zonal game. Or TikTok reactions, whichever's easiest. Maybe we should have let that meta with the implied nudity on Twitch go, because they were at least playing retro games at the same time. And no, I do not want to see Billy Mitchell do implied nudity. To be honest, I don't really want to see Billy Mitchell at all. I'm too busy chuckling at how big his head is. Not even a joke. That is a massive forehead. I know I don't usually poke fun at appearance, but there's something odd about it. Now, over a number of years, since 2018, these high scores were contested because members of Twin Galaxies forums found discrepancies in the videos that he had provided for the King of Kong. It was believed he had used emulation software to falsify the score. It was concluded that his high scores, some of them, were not performed on original hardware, and it invalidated all of his scores. Guinness stripped him of his records, and following legal threats against Twin Galaxies and Guinness, Guinness reinstated the records. Twin Galaxies, though, did not, which led to lawsuits against them and others back in 2020, while we needed something to keep us going during lockdown. An individual, though, that did get a fair amount of problems from Billy Mitchell was Carl Jobst, who did call out Billy Mitchell and still does to this day, because he believes, and I agree with him, Billy Mitchell has been found out. He has been found to have not done things properly. For example, in one of those arcade games that he has a record on, he was using a different joystick that had the ability to move to 8 points as opposed to 4. That gives you greater mobility. That is cheating. This is not rocket science here, Billy. But as I'm a nobody YouTuber, it's quite alright. You can sue me for whatever. I've got like 2p to my name. You can have it. What I thought I'd do is highlight the origin of the disputed records to lead us to present, and talk about the involvement of Carl Jobst as well. Also highlighting these records when he got them. Some of these happened before I was even born. In fact, the majority happened before I was born. For example, 1982, he set a record for Donkey Kong with 874,300 points. In the middle of 1983, him and another reached the split screen level of 256 of Pac-Man. In 84, a record for Burger Time, which stood until 2005. In 1985, he set a new record score for Miss Pac-Man, but it was surpassed in 2001. In 1985, the fifth person to achieve a score on Centipede of more than 10 million points in marathon play. He's done quite well to use this to continue to flash his credentials as a gamer. It's impressive. There are others, but those are the ones that happened before I was born, so naturally they're not real, because the world didn't exist before 1986, of course. He has received a number of honours over the years as well. He was the Video Game Player of the Year in 1983, and in 2006 MTV selected him as one of the 10 most influential video gamers of all time. And based on how others have responded when he's threatened to sue them, even if they wanted to take it away from them, they give it back because bitch made. In August 2017, Jeremy Young, who is a moderator of the Donkey Kong forums, expressed concern related to a video posted online by Child of Mitchell's Boomer Score. Mitchell had played both Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. that day, breaking the records for both, but was using the exact same cabinet for it. The circuit board was switched between runs. The video did not show the complete record-breaking runs, and Young believed there might have been issues with the board swap. It was confirmed some of the parts of the board switching were staged, but that part of the recording was made well after the records had been set on legitimate hardware. assertions made. By the way, that's what that's called. It's called an assertion. Jeremy Young, though, continued to investigate and discovered in early 2018, while posting evidence of it, that both scores were made on MAME, which is an emulator rather than actual hardware. Jeremy Young then removed the 3 scores from Donkey Kong forums because they were not authentic gameplay and therefore not authentic scores. This was backed up by Wes Copeland, who was a former holder of the Donkey Kong high score. Based on analysis of the scoring rate and frequencies of the game, Mitchell's run showed a statistically unlikely rate of scoring. It was then determined that the verifier for the Boomers and Mortgage Brokers scores was former Twin Galaxies referee Todd Rogers, who had himself been banned from Twin Galaxies for submitting fraudulent scores, which undermined Mitchell's scores in the first place. Because that's what you need for legitimacy, by the way. Someone who's been banned for being fraudulent. That adds some merit to what you're accomplishing, right? Billy Mitchell defended the scores, saying, "I've never even played MAME. I don't have that loaded in my home. The film footage that he has, that Jeremy has, shows MAME play. I'm not disputing what he says. What I'm disputing is the fact that I want him to have the original tape." He also suggested that the tape footage Jeremy Young had may have been fabricated. Jeremy Young pointed out the amount of foresight, patience and technical knowledge required would be staggering to make such tapes. To support the case, Billy then sent Twin Galaxies recordings of the gameplay from these high-score efforts along with other secondary evidence to deny any cheating. In April 2018, Twin Galaxies found conclusive evidence that Billy Mitchell had not achieved at least 2 of the scores he submitted on original arcade hardware, effectively making him a cheat. And that was proven with the 8-point controller, which gives unfair advantages because those machines, those arcade machines, used 4-point. Billy Mitchell then took this and decided to threaten to sue Guinnesss, Twin Galaxies, Jeremy Young, YouTuber Apollo Legend. When Twin Galaxies tried to get a California judge to throw this out, dismiss it, under California's anti-slap laws, Twin Galaxies then, because the judge dismissed that, filed a counterclaim against Billy Mitchell and Walter Day, alleging that they defrauded Twin Galaxies' current owners by selling the site's assets with the knowledge the database contained fake scores, thus undermining the reputation and its monetary value. In October 2021, the US Appeals Court allowed that Billy Mitchell's suit against Twin Galaxies to proceed. The reason Guinness decided to reinstate his records was because they could not prove conclusively that Billy Mitchell had used improper methods to achieve his high scores. Fair enough, although let's be honest here, the threat of legal action was entirely the reason for it. There was plenty of proof in existence, and there is now in fact. That's where we insert Carl Jobst, who gets his own Wikipedia page because of this. In 2 of his videos, he was argued to be defamatory against Billy Mitchell. One of them used a clip that refers to Billy Mitchell as a cheater, the other covering the allegations. So naturally a lawsuit had to happen. Carl ended up setting up a GoFundMe and raising a lot of money to help with legal costs. Because Billy is a silly bitch, and everything's a lawsuit to him. Because he's American, can you tell? Over the years since 2020, more information has come to light. Forensic analysts have proven conclusively that Billy Mitchell could not have obtained his records on original arcade hardware, and that much of what he did had to come from emulation, along with older photos resurfacing from 2007 coming to light in 2023 showing the 8-way motion rather than a standard 4-way joystick, meaning there's no version of this where he did not do something with shenanigans involved. That is the Cliff's Notes of what you need to know about Billy Mitchell, or Millie Bitchell, whichever you prefer. Although I think Bitchell works quite well. You can't sue me for defamation for switching 2 letters of your name. Billy Silly Bitchell. Now we're going to skip ahead to this month, in fact, because there is a now resolution to part of this, which tickles me to no end. First though, I want to read Guinness's statement. I think it's right to include it. You saw it, let's read it. In light of the compelling new evidence received by Guinness World Records, the records management team has unanimously decided to reverse decisions made in April 2018, yeah, I'm keeping that in regards to video game high scores achieved by Billy Mitchell between 1982 and 2010. As of June the 10th, 2020, the following historical records for the arcade platforms have been reinstated. Those are the records, the scores are quite high. None of these impress me too much by today's standards. I think it's more compelling to know if you've completed a Pokédex. On the 16th of January 2024, Twin Galaxies posted a statement. Billy Mitchell's Donkey Kong score performances, which have scores, were originally accepted and posted as record performances by Twin Galaxies based upon either videotape submission, live referee verification, or a combination of videotape submission and live referee verification. On the 2nd of February 2018, Twin Galaxies Adjudication began investigating a dispute claimed by a community member asserting that these performances were not generated by unmodified original Donkey Kong arcade hardware as required by the leaderboard rules. On the 12th of April 2018, Twin Galaxies removed all of Billy Mitchell's scores and banned Billy Mitchell from competing on Twin Galaxies' competitive leaderboards. This was centered upon a technical basis of what Twin Galaxies believed to be a demonstrated impossibility of an original unmodified Donkey Kong arcade hardware to produce images shown in the videotaped recordings of some of the disputed adjudicated performances. The basis for this decision was an independent investigation by Twin Galaxies supported by a series of detailed submissions, experiments, and analyses by Twin Galaxies and from the Twin Galaxies community, each with a varying degree of technical expertise and access to equipment. Recently, on behalf of Billy Mitchell, Dr. Michael Zeider, an individual who holds a Bachelor of Arts in Computer and Information Science from UOC, San Diego, a Masters of Computer Science, concluded the gameplay on the subject tapes could in fact depict play on original unmodified Donkey Kong arcade hardware if the hardware involved was malfunctioning, likely due to degradation of components. Twin Galaxies is committed to ensuring fairness for all parties and to allow and consider any new information that becomes available. In addition, Twin Galaxies seeks to disclose all and any information so that individuals can form their own judgments. To this end, Twin Galaxies openly and publicly take note of Dr. Zeider's expressed expert opinion in regard to providing a method by which the videotape content in question might have been produced. There's some very interesting words like might and could, and using an appeal to authority when there's plenty of counter evidence to show that actually this doesn't stack up. Continuing, in fair consideration of the expert opinion provided on behalf of Billy Mitchell and consistent with Twin Galaxies' dedication to the meticulous documentation and preservation of video game score history, Twin Galaxies shall heretofore reinstate all of Billy Mitchell's scores as part of the official historical database. Additionally, upon closing of the matter, Twin Galaxies shall permanently archive and remove from online display the dispute thread titled, and yeah, that. The internet's forever, so no doubt somebody's already got that, and is sharing it everywhere to make sure that we can hold Billy Mitchell accountable for being what he is. Billy Mitchell had tweeted out a statement saying, "Today, January 16th, 2024, Twin Galaxies has reinstated all the video game world records I achieved in my career, effective immediately. I am relieved and satisfied to reach this resolution after almost 6-year ordeal, and looking forward to pursuing my unfinished business elsewhere. Never surrender, Billy Mitchell." Well, I guess when you have a business on the side that brings in money, you can be a bitch for longer, can't you? It's impressive how long people are willing to drag it out for, because Carl Jobs put out a video not so long ago showing the 8-point controller you were using. You can cite it being an alternative or degradation, but it was pretty conclusive, to be honest. When one believes their lie enough, they're willing to commit to it for so long. It's impressive. The unsurprising element to add to this is that Billy Mitchell didn't necessarily exonerate his name. No, he won through attrition by simply dragging it out for as long as possible. Others just can't be asked to fight him. That's not a win, by the way. That's you intentionally playing a long game tactic, knowing that no one else can keep up with you. It's a bit sad at this point, but unsurprising if it's all you've got. Companies don't want to waste time on things like this that are frivolous, so they're going to settle knowing that that is simpler. But because of the optics involved, you're not going to be made to look like a winner, and nor are they. In fact, you look bad because of attrition being your tactic. They look bad because they caved into you. You look bad because you wasted so much time. They look bad because they wasted so much money. But so did you as well. There is no positive outcome for this beyond your own self-importance, which is quite inflated. By today's gaming standards, you are considered legendary because of how influential you have been to the gaming community, but your reputation is in tatters because others see through your bull. Many of us do, in fact. I think you're a joke, and you deserve to be memed. If you can't take a joke, or the fact that you get criticism for not being as good as you think you are, or for using an emulator, it sounds like a you problem there, bud.